Most people have the wrong idea about what intelligence actually is. They think it is about your IQ score. They think it is about where you went to school or how fast you can solve a problem in your head. But here is what the research actually tells us. The thing that separates truly intelligent people from everyone else is not what they do. It is what they absolutely refuse to do. And some of these are going to surprise you. Stay with me until the end, because the fifth one is something almost every single person on this planet does every single day, without ever realizing how badly it is holding them back. Before we get into it, let us clear something up. Real intelligence does not live in a test score. It shows up in how a person thinks, how they talk to others, how they make decisions, and how they move through the world day after day. Research in the field of intelligence and cognitive psychology has found that highly intelligent people share specific behavioral patterns. And the most revealing part of all is not what they choose to do. It is what they consistently choose not to do. These are not habits someone taught them. These are natural tendencies that grow out of how their minds work. Let us walk through all 5. Number 1. They never pretend to know something they do not actually know. Pay close attention to this one, because it is more powerful than it sounds. When most people are asked a question they cannot answer, they do one of 3 things. They make something up on the spot. They give a vague answer that sounds like something, but really says nothing at all. Or they change the subject entirely because saying the words "I do not know" feels like admitting a failure. Highly intelligent people do the complete opposite. They have zero problem saying, "I do not know. I am not sure about that. Let me look into it before I give you a real answer." And the reason is simple. They understand that pretending to know something you do not is far more foolish than just admitting the gap. Their confidence does not come from seeming to know everything. It comes from being deeply honest about what they know and what they do not. A gap in knowledge does not scare them. It does not embarrass them. They see it as an open door, not a closed wall. Researchers call this intellectual humility, and it is one of the clearest signs of a genuinely intelligent mind, because it shows that a person values truth far more than they value their own ego. Number 2. They never get into pointless arguments or fight to win every single conversation. Think carefully about this one, because it reveals something very deep. When you watch someone who argues about everything, who always has to be right, who turns every conversation into a competition they must win, you are not watching intelligence. You are watching insecurity. Truly intelligent people choose their battles very carefully. They do not waste their mental energy trying to change the mind of someone who has already decided not to be changed. They do not feel the need to correct every wrong statement they hear. They do not engage with people who are arguing just to argue, with no real interest in finding the truth. The reason is that they understand a fundamental difference that most people miss. Some conversations are genuinely useful. They lead to mutual learning and better thinking. Other conversations are just ego battles that eat up your energy and produce absolutely nothing. Intelligent people can tell the difference almost immediately. When they do step into a discussion, it is because they genuinely want to explore an idea, understand a new perspective, or arrive at a better answer. Not because they need to prove they are the smartest person in the room. And here is where things get really interesting. In the world we live in today, information is everywhere. You can watch a short video, skim a quick article, scroll through a few posts, and walk away feeling like you have learned something real. Most people do exactly this, and then go on to speak with total confidence about topics they have barely touched the surface of. Highly intelligent people have a very different relationship with knowledge. They understand the difference between being exposed to something and actually understanding it deeply. They do not watch one documentary about science and feel ready to debate experts. They do not read one article about mental health and suddenly think they understand the human mind. Psychologists call this epistemic humility. It means they are fully aware of how much they still do not know, even in the areas where they have genuine understanding. They know that real expertise takes years of focused learning, practice, and lived experience. And they respect that deeply. This keeps them as permanent students of life, always curious, always digging deeper, but never pretending they have all the answers. Number 3. They never make major life decisions based purely on how they feel in the moment. Notice the words purely and in the moment, because that distinction matters a great deal. Highly intelligent people are not emotionless. They feel things deeply. They have strong emotional reactions just like everyone else. But here is what they do not do. They do not allow a temporary feeling to make a permanent decision for them. When they are angry, they do not send that message, make that phone call, or start that fight. When they are excited, they do not commit to something before thinking through what it actually means. When they are sad or discouraged, they do not make life-changing choices based on feelings that will pass. Neuroscientists call this emotional regulation. It is the ability to feel an emotion completely without being taken over by it. Intelligent people create a space between the feeling and the action. They ask themselves questions like, will I feel the same way about this tomorrow? What about next week? What about 6 months from now? They understand that emotions carry real and important information. But that information needs to pass through careful thinking before it becomes a decision. This does not make them cold people, it makes them wise people. Because they avoid the kind of regret that comes from choices made at the highest and lowest emotional points of their lives. Number 4. They never surround themselves only with people who agree with everything they say. This one is counterintuitive and it catches people off guard. Human beings naturally want comfort, validation, and agreement. We are drawn to people who think like us, who share our views, and who confirm what we already believe about the world. Highly intelligent people actively choose the opposite. They want people around them who will respectfully disagree. People who will point out the flaws in their thinking. People who bring in angles they had never considered. People who challenge their assumptions and push them to think more carefully and more completely. Because they understand something most people miss entirely. Growth does not happen inside a bubble where everyone agrees with you. You do not become sharper by surrounding yourself with people who tell you that you are right about everything. You become sharper by engaging with people who make you defend your ideas, clean up your thinking, and sometimes completely change your mind. Highly intelligent people are not threatened by being shown they are wrong. They are energized by it. Because it means they just learned something new. Psychologist Carol Dweck calls this a growth mindset. The belief that intelligence is not a fixed thing you protect, but a living thing that grows through effort and honest challenge. This makes intelligent people very intentional about who they spend their time with. Not in an arrogant way. In a deeply purposeful way. They want people who lift their thinking, not people who just make them feel smart. Number 5. They never confuse being busy with actually getting things done. This is the one that will change how you look at your own days. We live in a world that glorifies being busy. People brag about their packed schedules, their long work hours, their barely a moment to breathe lifestyle. Somehow, being exhausted has become something to be proud of. But highly intelligent people see right through this. They understand that being busy and being effective are two completely different things. They know that working 80 hours a week on the wrong things accomplishes far less than 20 focused hours on the right things. They are ruthless about their priorities. They put their energy into activities that actually move them towards something meaningful. And they say no to everything else, even when those things look important on the surface. The management thinker Peter Drucker said it perfectly. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. Most people are obsessed with efficiency. Doing more, doing it faster, trying to do 10 things at once. But intelligent people are obsessed with effectiveness. They make sure what they are doing actually matters before they ever worry about doing it faster. This means they often look less busy than other people. They have more quiet time, more space to think, more ability to be fully present in what they are doing. Because they are not burning their energy on activity that leads nowhere. They understand that rest and reflection are not rewards you earn after working hard enough. They are essential parts of thinking clearly and performing at your best over the long run. When you put all 5 of these together, a clear picture forms. Highly intelligent people are not trying to look smart. They are trying to be accurate. They are not trying to win arguments. They are trying to find out what is actually true. They are not pretending to have all the answers. They are staying honest about how much there is still to learn. They are not letting emotions make their decisions for them. They are using emotions as useful signals and then thinking carefully before acting. They are not surrounding themselves with people who only agree with them. They are seeking out real challenge and real growth, and they are not mistaking motion for progress. They are focusing their energy on what genuinely matters. This is what builds people who are not just mentally capable, but emotionally grounded, socially aware, and genuinely effective in everything they take on. True intelligence is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not need to. It shows up quietly in habits, in choices, and in the things a person simply refuses to do. The question is not whether you are intelligent. The real question is, which of these 5 things are you still doing? And what happens in your life when you finally stop?